Hey, it's your boy Bobby Beast here. I want to talk about a subject that comes to mind, and that is Ghost versus Marlo. For those of you who may not know who Marlo is from The Wire. He is apparently the new king that took over once Avon fell. Now, basically, when it comes down to it, we know who Ghost is. He's the biggest drug dealer in New York. He is the guy. He is the man. He is the one. But however, for those of you who may not know who Marlo is pretty much a guy who rose up to the top. In Baltimore. He was going head-to-head with Avon Barksdale, who was the king at the time. The reason why Avon really lost this war, however, I wouldn't say he really lost it, but it's because on the inside of his organization, everything was falling apart. He lost his main man, some of his main people was dying, some of them was getting to the point where they just didn't even want to be in the game anymore. So he had a lot going on. And really, it wasn't really the fact that he really was losing to Marlo, because he wasn't. It's pretty much because his whole team fell apart. However, Marlo is still smart. Marlo is very dangerous. Marlo has his way about how he do things. Very quiet, very calculating, very focused individual. So if Marlo and Ghost was to go against each other, how would it be? Well, this is basically it. Ghost is the biggest drug dealer in New York, which means he rules most of the crews, or basically he's the leader of most crews. And even though he's the leader, that doesn't mean other people are not trying to take his place. People want to get at him and they want to go after him because he got everything. He's the dude, he's the plug, he's the one who gets out to work, but they all hate that. When it comes to Marlo, Marlo is pretty much running the streets. He's the king. Most people call him the invisible king because he was not like Avon. He was Avon was there for you to know. He was there for you to see. He did not care. Everyone knew who he was. Everyone respected him. However, when it comes to Marlo, no one really knew who Marlo was. They knew his name. They never knew who he was if he were to show up, but because he was so good at hiding. He literally was a ghost type character because no one knew who he really was. And with that being said about him, is that, but that's the thing, he wanted to be known that way. But he was very dangerous though. He was an extremely dangerous person. When it comes down to it, Marlo has Chris and has Snoop. So he has a dangerous crew. Ghost has Tommy and Kanan. And if these guys were to go head to head with each other, I'm gonna be honest with you, I love both of these guys. I love Ghost, I love Marlo, I love Chris, I love Snoop, I love Tommy, I love Kanan. But looking at it, it would be Ghost's crew who would end up winning. I think somehow Ghost would end up I'm not gonna say outthinking Marlo, but really the stuff that Ghost has going on with him. Ghost has too much going on with him. And he's too powerful. So he would use everything he can to go at it with Marlo. But don't get it twisted, Marlo would not make it easy. So if they were going to go to head, Marlo would be a very hard person for Ghost to go against. But at the same time, it would not be a situation where, Marlo, Ghost was just going to straight up beat Marlo. It would be hard. Marlo would take Ghost on. It would be a big situation. Ghost is like at a different level than Marlo. Even though Marlo took over the streets as the king of the streets, he really wasn't running the other crews like that. He still had people out there that did not like him the same way they respected Avon. So it was just a mixture of everything. Marlo was trying to take over the streets, but he was very disrespectful to a lot of people that were already established before he was. He was disrespectful to a lot of the people that were doing their thing before he was, the connections and everything, whereas Ghost was not disrespectful to a lot of the connections. Ghost worked with everybody. So yes, Marlo would lose this fight if he was to go, pretty much him and Ghost go at it. Ghost would win. That's exactly what would happen. Ghost would win that fight. But that's pretty much all I got to say about that when it comes down to it. I just want to say to all of you that it is your boy, Bobby Beast here. And I just want to say much love, much respect. Hold it down. And war quote.
Hey, how are you doing? This is your boy, Bobby Beast here. I'm going to tell you something. When it comes down to it, you could be a good person, and that's a good thing. You can be a person that's about peace, and that is also a good thing. But there are times when you have to learn how to be a person who can't care about peace and being good. Well, you can still be good, but sometimes you have something inside of you where you have to fight. Sometimes you have to have something inside of you where you have to go to war. There's a part of you that has to fight for what you believe in. If you really love something, don't you fight for it. In this life, there are people who will play the good in you against yourself and consistently try to go against you or make you go against yourself. When it comes to dealing with people like that, you have to be watchful, observant, cold, calculating, heartless, and cold. That's me just telling you what you have to do in regards to dealing with your enemies. Hey, how